What's up, YouTube? This is Raiders Eric. I'm going. Sorry, let me get a little settled here. All right. Oh my gosh. Um, I'm gonna do a Walking Dead season 4, um, episode 13, The Grove review. Okay. And first off, I just want to sit here and go. I just want to clap to the Walking Dead writers for this episode. Because clearly, Walking Dead fans out there, y'all know as much as I know, tonight's episode was one of the reasons why we fell in love with The Walking Dead. I mean, it was intense, it was unpredictable to a certain degree, and you just didn't know what was going to happen, and it got you emotionally caught up in with the characters. I mean, tonight was just one of the reasons why we watched Walking Dead and why we love this show. And it was just off the chain tonight. And whoever directed this episode needs to be helping out with directing the rest of these episodes because I mean tonight was just a prime example of why we love The Walking Dead. Okay, first off, um, just to go to the review for the episode. You have Tyrese, Carol, Beth, Mika, and baby Judith. They're walking along the tracks, and Tyrese and Lizzie, the older one. I think she's the eldest. I think she's the eldest of older than Mika. Are talking, and a walker comes up and whatchamacallit, and Tyrese, is going to kill it. And then Lizzie says, sometimes we have to kill the walker, sometimes we don't. Um, so anyways, they find this little place called, this little farm or whatever, that they find. So they take shelter there. They take shelter at the farm, and some bizarre things are happening. Tyrese and Carol are getting some water, while Lizzie and Nika are at the house. And Lizzie, she starts walking off by herself, and her sister's screaming for her, Lizzie, 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 Lizzie. This broad, um, she walks off by herself. Lizzie does, and her sister, she finds her sister feeding the Walker rats. Um, so we got the question answered of who was feeding the rats back at the prison, and it was old girl Lizzie, man. She was feeding the walkers with rats and feeding them, giving them food. And Mika goes, these people are bad. This guy wants these people want to kill you. And Lizzie, the one thing that hit me, she sat there and said that they could change. They change. Maybe I could change, with them. And she told Mika, I hear their voices, and that's coming from a, maybe she's not psycho like everybody says. She's just out there, man. Lizzie's just, too far gone. I mean, she's just out there, and I don't even think she's just psycho. I think she's just out there, completely just gone, and completely not in tune of what these walkers are. To Lizzie, in her mind, in the little kid's mind, she thinks that these walkers are people. And just like when Tyrese was going to kill the other walker that they saw, she tells Tyrese, don't kill it, do not kill it. And now she tells her sister that she hears their voices, and maybe they could change. So a whole bunch of freaking walkers start coming out, and those two start running, and they start screaming. Carol and Tyrese hear them, and they all start shooting. Shoot. That was a great scene episode. But yeah, all four, all three of them start shooting the walkers. The kids start shooting them. Tyrese, Carol, and all them started shooting the walkers that were coming out, and the walkers had smoke coming out of fire coming out of them or whatnot. And and so later on during the episode, yeah, Tyrese and Carol talking about wanting to stay at the place that they're at. Um, you know, Tyrese was like, we don't have to go to Terminus. Mika is right. We could stay here. We could live here. We don't have to go to Terminus. Um, and stuff like that. And Tyrese mentioned the Carol about Karen that how he still sees Karen. He dreams about Karen. He forgets that Karen is still alive. Dead. He thinks that she's still alive or whatnot. And so they start walking back to the farm. And when they go back to the farm, they see Lizzie standing there with bloody hands and her sister Mika dead, and she killed her sister Mika. Okay, now that is for a show to do that. I mean, for kids to do that, not alone just two sisters, but I mean, just to see another little kid kill another little kid on TV was just off the hook. Okay, so she's just standing there saying that she's going to come back. She's telling them that she's going to come back. She's going to come back. Change. You'll see. She'll come back. Meaning that she won't come back as a zombie. Thing. Her sister will come back. She'll come back and this and that. Um. You'll see. She keeps telling Tyrese and Carol, you'll see. She'll come back. She'll come back. You know what I mean? And then Carol and Tyrese are just sitting there, just their eyes are just freaking shocked, man. They're just like, okay, Tyrese, good acting on all these characters' parts. I mean, Tyrese looked like, what the fuck were you doing, Lizzie? You killed your own little sister. And Carol was trying to grab the gun, and then Lizzie pointed it at her and said, "No, we gotta wait. We gotta wait. We got to wait." She thought that her sister could come back normal. She doesn't look at the walkers as walkers. Lizzie, she looks at the walkers as people, and kind of like what Herschel did um, back at the farm with Otis when they were putting. They remember that when they were putting the walkers in the barn, and Herschel looked at the zombies as people and his family. They kind of went back to that role with Lizzie. I mean, she started looking at these people as people and not walkers. And she thought that her sister, could come back, and she killed her sister to prove a point, saying that, oh, things are going to be different. She won't turn. She won't turn. You know what I mean? She's going to come back. You know what I mean? And then Carol asked Lizzie for the gun, and um, um, she goes, I won't do anything to her. I'll just tie her up, whatever. If you take baby Judith back to the house and we'll make some lunch. We'll make some lunch. You go back to the house and we'll go make some lunch. I'll just I'll use her shoes and I'll tie her up and I won't kill her. So Lizzie gives, the gun back to Carol, and then Carol and Tyrese are in the house alone, and she was explaining to Tyrese that Lizzie is gone. I mean, mentally, mentally she's not safe to be around people. Um, you know, obviously she's not safe for baby Judith. And obviously she's not safe, for baby Judith to be around her. So she's telling Tyrese, we have to do something. We have to do something. And Tyrese told Carol maybe she could change. Maybe we could bring her back. And Carol goes, can't bring her back. You can't bring her back. She's too far gone. I mean, she killed her little sister, for crying out loud. I mean, how do you justify that? How do you justify somebody killing somebody's little sister, whether you're a little kid or not, or you're an adult doing that? That's just once at that point you're pretty much far gone after that. So decision was made. I guess something has to be done with Lindsay. Now, me personally, I would have just left her at the farm. Um, because if they, I would have just left her at the farm So, well, this is a spoiler alert for those who haven't seen this episode yet. So, if you haven't seen it, whatever. But anyways, Lizzie, and Carol are walking, and Carol tells Lizzie, "Oh, we should pick some flowers for Mika. She would like, pick some flowers for Mika." And Lizzie goes, "Yeah, she would like that, like some flowers when they go back." And then, things got really quiet, and then Lizzie looks at Carol and goes, "Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me for pointing a gun to you? I just wanted you to wait. I wanted you to wait. I wanted you to wait." And Carol goes, "No, I love you, Lizzie. I'm not mad at you." And she's not even tripping with the fact that she just killed her sister, Lizzie. You know what I'm saying? Lizzie's not even tripping. She's more worried about if Carol was mad at her because she pointed a gun at Carol, and you know she's sitting there crying. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." And then Carol Carol tells Lizzie to go ahead and look at the flowers. Look at the flowers, Lizzie. Just look at the flowers. And she's sitting there crying, and I did not expect this at all. And Carol takes her gun out. She's trying to pick, and she ends up shooting Lizzie. Ends up shooting her. Tyrese is sitting there watching from the window, and you saw it. And that was it. That was just the emotional part. That was not the only emotional part though, because then after all that ordeal, after Carol kills Lizzie, I I don't blame Carol for doing that. I mean, justifiably so. In that type of world, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Lizzie was too far gone. She couldn't be around baby Judith, obviously. Um, she would have done something to baby Judith. But me personally, I would have just left her at the farm. You know what I mean? Left Lizzie by herself and not even killed her, like Tyrese said, just leave her. But anyways, close to the end of this episode, Tyrese and Carol are sitting there on the table, and here we go. Carol confesses to Tyrese that she was the one that killed Karen and David. And at that moment, when she told Tyrese it wasn't Lindsay, it was me, I was sitting there going, bye, Carol. I was sitting there going, Carol, you about to die. I was sitting there going, okay, here we go. Um, and there's a gun sitting right there, and Carol just goes, "You do what you gotta do." She gave him an option, you do what you gotta do. If you gotta kill me, fine, whatever. Um, Tyrese put his hands on the gun. Tyrese asked her if this was it quick. Did she know what was going on? Carol explained that she had to kill her because she didn't want everybody else to get infected. Um, and she said no, she didn't know what was going on. It was quick. Um, and Tyrese goes, well, he takes the gun and he takes his hand off the gun and goes, I forgive you, and you have to live with that. I see that you have to live with that. Um, I have to live with it too. And he told Carol, it's a part of you now. And I forgive you, but I will never forget. And Carol, says thank you for forgiving me. Um, so they end up packing up and leaving that farm, with the grave. I mean, obviously you can't stay there no more, because what happened and the dramatic events that happened with the kids. So I guess they decided to head off and with baby Judith, and I think they're headed to Terminus. Um, for Carol, you got to remember back in season one, with Sophia and stuff, this was an emotional thing for Carol because she lost Sophia in season two at the end of season two, and now she was caring and loving these kids, Lizzie and Mika, and she had to kill one of those kids, and even the actress, Melissa McBride, she, when I saw her Talking Dead, I mean, she's just emotional from this episode, and you could tell. I mean, who wouldn't be emotional from this episode? I mean, um, even the actors were, and it was just an incredible writing. The reason why we watched The Walking Dead was because of tonight's episode. It was heartbreaking. Um, everybody predicted Lizzie to die, but I don't think anybody predicted that she was going to kill her sister. And or for Carol to tell Tyrese that she killed Karen. You know what I mean? And so I guess they're headed to Terminus. So tonight's episode was focused on them. We didn't get to see Glenn, Abraham, Tyra, Eugene, or Crazy Ass Eugene is what I call him, or Glenn this week, or Daryl and his group, or Bob, Sasha, and Maggie. We didn't get to see them this week, or Beth. We still don't know what happened with Beth, and I'm gonna go out the limb here. I'm gonna say that we won't know what happens to Beth until the end of the season, until the season finale. That is something that you save for the season finale. It's like a shocker moment or whatnot, or maybe we have two more episodes to go, so maybe next week we will know what happens to Beth. But I don't think we're not gonna know anything what happens to Beth um, um, until season finale. I think Beth is alive. I think Beth is safe. I think Father Gabriel took her, or a priest took her, um, uh, kidnapped her or whatever. Not, I mean, maybe she wasn't even kidnapped. Maybe she just hopped in the car. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's assuming that she is kidnapped, but maybe she just hopped in the car and the car took off, and she hopped in the car, and the person said, "Hey, I'll help you out." And she hopped in the car and said, "We gotta wait." And the person that drove probably just took off. You know what I'm saying? As soon as Daryl ran to her. But as far as that goes, I'll do another video on whether I think Daryl will rescue Beth, which I think he will. That'll probably be the end of the season finale. Maybe the group will be back together at some point, probably next week, because next week's episode is called Us. I don't know, that could be referred to everybody reuniting with the exception of Daryl and Beth, or it could be about Daryl and Joe's group. Um, uh, him being part of Joe's group, which I don't think Daryl is gonna, join this group. I think he's just riding along for a ride with this group right now. So, anyways, tonight's episode of The Grove was just, oh my gosh, very emotional. Um, um, Leave your comments, subscribe. Let me know what you think about tonight's episode. Would you give it an A? Would you give it a B? I give it an A. Just for the writing and just for the acting, and it's dead on. The reason why we watched The Walking Dead tonight, and they need to do more of these type of episodes. And I'm Eric, rated Eric. I'm out. Like, peace.